Hey everyone. After my first season of interviews, I wanted to recap because I noticed some patterns throughout my interviews and I really like looking back and doing a comprehensive overview of the season. When I decided to do interviews, I wasn't sure how it was going to go. Would I get the type of guests that I wanted? Would we agree or disagree on topics? Would I show up well as an interviewer? Would the audio and video be okay? The questions and fears were endless, but I adopted an open mindset to learn as I went and try to provide as much value as possible. What I love about season 5, and I hope to continue moving forward, is the diversity of careers and career paths of my guests. Even when I spoke to a guest ahead of time, or they were somebody that I knew personally, there were still surprises, which made the interviews that much more exciting. A few of the surprises that stood out to me were about half of the guests mentioned making big physical moves for their career, which was fascinating to me. I grew up in an area where most people didn't move away, let alone move across country for an opportunity, so I loved hearing these stories. For most of them, the move paid off. One of my absolute favorite moments is when Colleen Mitchell described herself as a trash manager. This term you will see me using moving forward. Her honesty about her abilities and interests around managing others was inspiring. She doesn't want to manage others, and I respect that. Not enough emphasis is put on individual contributors or specialist roles in organizations, and my interview with her really goes in depth with what that can look like. Another surprise for me across the board was how authentic everyone was with their story. They shared their highs and lows. They shared advice. They talked about great managers and toxic situations. They shared poignant moments that changed their trajectory and shared some amazing tips and advice that helped them get to where they are now. I highly recommend that you check out Jade Chan's episode because her story, which she goes into some of her childhood, is extremely impactful. Now, since I do the editing for the episodes myself, with the exception of the captions, my husband actually jumps in and helps to do the captions, I am forced to listen to myself speak. And as someone who has always hated listening to themselves, this is just always the best time. I made a few observations that hopefully I can adjust moving forward. The first is that I say awesome a lot. Apparently, I think everything is awesome. Also, I did notice that while sometimes it seems like I'm cutting off a guest, I'm actually doing it for a reason, and it's something that I talk to the guests about ahead of time. Because I interview professionals who are real people, they tend to gloss over significant parts of their story. And I want to make sure that not only do they recognize the significance in their story, but that you, the listener, also recognizes it. When we think about our career journey and story, we have a tendency to minimize the impactful choices and decisions we made because we weren't taught to celebrate wins, or in some cases, there were other things happening in our life that we weren't able to really grasp the magnitude of what we were doing. I want to make sure that my guests and audience understand that and honor their story and experience. Two that stick out to me specifically: Ben Chi's story. He definitely did not realize the impact of his choices, and I really appreciate his explanation through how he got to where he is now. And Cheryl Peterson, her story is absolutely insane. The choices that she made early on, which pivoted her functional area, absolutely inspiring. So highly, highly recommend those two. If you haven't noticed, I ask a similar set of questions to each guest. I do this because I want to make sure that I provide value to you, the listener, and it allows my guests to contribute as thought leaders. One of the questions I ask is about book recommendations. I want to know about a book that has changed their perspective on their career or life. I definitely saw some themes across the interviews. Simon Sinek was a favorite for many people. The overall consensus being that anything by him is good and Start With Why is probably the best. A few of my guests who are affiliated with my time at the Drucker School of Management suggested anything by Peter Drucker. Given that he is the father of modern management, I'm not surprised. In the blog post for this episode, I'll post the full list of books and resource recommendations, and I'll make sure to do a post on social media as well so that you can collect all those recommendations. Overall, the first season of interviews went better than I could have hoped for, and I'm looking forward to recording future episodes. I've already started recording for season 6, which is launching May 5th, and my guest lineup is insane. I'm having a master inventor, someone who works for the Grammy Museum, and someone who works for NASA, and that's just the start. I'm making a few changes to the release of episodes that I want to make you aware of. In season 5, I released episodes weekly, which worked well, but really my guests have so much great information to share. I wanted to allow more time for promotion. So in season 6, I'll be releasing episodes every other week. Okay, one last update. I am launching a LinkedIn course at the beginning of June, and I will be doing a special promotion for professionals on my email list. So make sure that you get signed up. I will leave a link in the blog post for you. And here's the thing. I actually was not planning to do this type of course at all, but I have been really active on LinkedIn for probably about the past 6 months or so. And honestly, I've been on LinkedIn forever because I used to help people with their LinkedIn profiles for job searching and all of that. But I use it now in a different way. But I've been connecting with so many professionals who do not have their LinkedIn profile up to par. And I feel like there are so many wasted opportunities being left on the table, not having a really stellar LinkedIn profile and not having content that you're putting out, all those things. So I created this course after seeing that need. And if you are one of those people, then definitely get on my email list so that you can get the special promotion, because it is going to be a really good promotion. Also, if you want to be notified of when new podcast episodes go live, please subscribe to the podcast where you normally get your podcasts, or also sign up to receive emails. So again, I'll leave that link for you to sign up to receive emails. I do put an email out weekly, usually on Wednesdays. And when a podcast is going live, I will make sure to link it in there so you'll get it that way as well. So as always, thank you so much for supporting the podcast, for supporting my business, Ride the Tide Collective. You can find me on social media. Honestly, these days I am primarily on LinkedIn, but you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Ride the Tide Collective. I am also on Clubhouse every now and then, still trying to feel out that platform, but if you're on there, definitely connect with me, and I look forward to seeing you in season 6.